Well, hello, this is Peter Combs from bitamount.com and plcombs Asian Art in Gloucester, Massachusetts. And today is Tuesday, January 23rd. And today we're going to take a look at this auction that took place at Christie's in New York on the 18th. It was the Chinese export art auction. It had 100 lots in it from the Marchant shop over in England. They're dealers, and they've been consigning things off and on to Christie's now. This is their second go-around that I'm aware of with them, and they put in some great things. And the auction was an interesting one. It had sort of mixed results. One of the things I noticed was that here's the price results. If you go to Christie's, you can scroll through them all and take a look. We've selected out a bunch, and it was sort of a mixed result auction. It was a funny auction. Some things I thought were remarkable bargains, and other things didn't get off the ground. It's very hard to figure out right now what's going on in the auction world. Prices seem to be all over the place, and as many of you know, export art, China trade stuff has been somewhat depressed for the last few years, and this sale sort of points that out. But we'll start with this. This was an interesting lot in the sale. It's a Kangxi tray, a rectangular tray. Very unusual piece, I thought. It was the first lot in the auction. It was beautifully painted, and I thought it was very unusual. It had some fritting along the edges, but nothing too significant. And I thought it was a 16-inch tray. This was a big piece of porcelain. And I think it went for a bargain, $4,000. I think that is a rather astonishing number. I thought this would bring more than that. But $4,000 for that very unusual tray sort of points out where things are going. And there's the dimension, 16 inches. All right. And then there was this. This was a very nice lot of 4 famille rose dishes, all Qianlong. The biggest piece here, this bigger piece, this charger was about 15 or so inches in diameter, along with several other plates, 1, 2, 3 other plates, and this one with ducks in it. It was quite a charming thing. And look at this. It went for $1,250. All right. That to me does not sound like a heavy price, and I'm really wondering why. That's sort of a surprise. I think that was a very reasonable price. I think you could get that on eBay. You could probably get more on eBay for that. All right. And then there was this jar. Now, this jar did pretty well. It was estimated at $15,000 to $25,000. It was, I believe, 22 and a quarter inches tall. Here's the jar. It's a nice example. It's a type you've all seen before. It was done in blue and white. It was done in famille, these paneled jars with these lotus lappet panels going around it. But this was a nice one. It looked to be in good shape. I did notice that up on the lid here, on the top of the finial, it looks like the finial may have been reattached or something. But other than that, it was a pretty good pot. And it went for $32,500, which I don't think was unreasonable for that. All right. And then moseying along over here, we had 2 pairs of famille rose plates with garden scenes. And these were really lovely. Bear in mind, this is 4 of these plates, matching pair, nice looking pairs, nice vibrant yellows in this, good famille rose enameling, and pretty good decoration, especially on the second pair. And look at this. They went pretty modestly, $1,875. So you're coming in, New York pricing, you're still coming in at around, $460 a plate. That's not bad. All right. And then there were this pair of Yongzheng period vases. They're a near pair. You notice one is slightly taller than the other. But this was a form that was known. The same form was also done in the Kangxi period. I actually had one years ago that was nearly identical. It was Kangxi with famille enamels. But this is the one of the vases, and here's another one, nice vibrant yellow in it, Yongzheng, and went for $9,375. That's not a bad price, and these were about 7 inches tall. All right, those are quite nice. I thought they were lovely. And then there was this. This was a very unusual plate. I don't know if I hope some of you caught this. It's a reticulated, molded and reticulated famille rose vase, Chinese export, 1870s or so. But the top is of a type that you've seen before, with this diaper pattern, and the figures, interestingly, they're standing on fish running down the neck. But the sidewalls of the piece are fully carved out and reticulated. Look at the way they did the windows. And they have this gentleman with a book in the window here, and then there's a moon window down below, which you often see in Chinese architecture, with a woman and a man, and rather nice. This is quite an unusual example, I thought. And I was wondering how it would do, because sometimes atypical examples don't bring the world. This one didn't bring the world. It went for $8,750, and it was, what, 14 inches tall. So it was a good-sized jar. And I don't think that was an overpay. I think if you were buying, you'd expect to pay that no matter where you saw it. All right, this is sort of the theme here of what's going on. We'll get to some other pieces too in a minute, but here we have this rather nice Qianlong figure of a court official, 17 inches in diameter, very nice quality. Beautiful quality. The eyes are done particularly well on this. The robe is nicely decorated, and the gilding all seems to be in very good condition. Right down the folds of the robe is quite well done. And this was a nice piece. And it did fine. It brought $27,000. These, as you know, are fairly unusual. And this one is 17 inches tall, which makes it sort of a big one, which is very nice. It might have been a female with that originally. And this is something I caught my eye, because the Rockefeller family, David Rockefeller's estate, Christie's is handling his sale of a lot of his personal artwork and so forth in the next couple of months. And there will be some Rockefeller dish set in their collection. Okay, and this was a set of plates that was in the sale of jiaqing, 1805 roughly, and a nice looking set, nice looking plates, interesting scenes on them and so forth. And the set of dishes went for $43,750. So I'll be very curious to see how there's a bunch of services of this coming up in David Rockefeller's collection. So we'll see how that does. And then there was this. This I thought was very nice. This Middle Eastern form ewer with later European mounts, Kangxi period. This was a big pot. It was 13 inches tall in beautiful quality with these later Dutch mounts on it. But very nice quality decoration. Beautifully done. And the gilding was all in great shape all the way down. Appeared to be in good condition. I don't see any indications of a repair anywhere. Classic Middle Eastern shape, and it went for $30,000. It went for $10,000 over the high estimate of $20,000. But I can see why. That was a very nice piece. And then there was this pair of jars. This was a nice looking 9-inch pair of famille rose Qianlong period jars. They're beautifully decorated, nice condition. Nice vibrant colors. They were about 9 or so inches tall. No complaints. And they brought a fairly modest price, $10,625 for a pair. All right. You know, I always think of pairs as being worth about a good pair, a true pair, maybe being worth, 3 times the price of a single. So I thought that was pretty reasonable. And this was sort of a mystery to me. They had cataloged this as a 19th century jar. Quite unusual form, more in line with what you see with much earlier pieces of porcelain. And it was beautifully decorated. The decoration on it was very strong, very nicely done. It was an elegant shape, just superbly well done all the way down. Now, they cataloged it as 19th century. My gut is that it may have been older, and they were maybe hedging a little bit. But it brought $43,750, almost 3 times its high estimate. And it was 20 inches tall. It was a nice big jar. But, 20-inch Kangxi jars don't often bring that much. So I got a feeling that might have been an older one, maybe early Qianlong or Yongzheng or something. All right. And then there was this plate. This was a large plate. This plate was, 15 inches in diameter. Lady with the spotted deer. Nice looking plate. Beautiful enamels. Nicely decorated. And you notice that the enamel decoration on it is all in excellent shape. All of the enamels are there. Okay. No chipping anywhere. Really beautifully done. Nicely painted. And the plate did pretty well. It brought $6,250. It went over its high estimate. But I think the condition and the size of it played a big role. Big plates. Once you get over 12 inches, the prices leap. All right. And then there was this. This was that large famille Kangxi dish with a battle scene on it. Nicely done. It also was 15 inches in diameter. And again, very nice decoration. All in very good shape. Even the gilding on this little finial up here on the rooftop of the building sticking out through the trees was in good shape. The banners were all done beautifully. Lots of nice facial expressions, and the facial expressions of the horses. There's a mask on the back of the shield that's got an expression on it. And you have this, and look at this fellow here. He's smiling and sort of riding away. And this plate did very well. It brought $43,750. Now it's funny. This isn't an There's a number of things that in here. They're calling this an export sale. That's not an export plate, and I'm sort of at a loss as to why it was in here. But they put in a number of things that I don't consider to be export in these auctions. Sort of odd. And then there was this. These are export, obviously, European form. These square. They often call them gin bottles, and Kangxi, beautifully decorated. And these I thought were very reasonable purchase for a pair, no less, and in good shape. Kangxi slab vases, as you know, often have these frits along the edges that happen during the firing. You get little bubbles in the glaze where the corners meet up, and you get these frits, and they pop off later. There's a bit more of it over here. Very typical, though. But the colors on this were absolutely brilliant. Here you have vases and precious objects, and then flowers. There's a jade book at the bottom, rue scepters and so forth, an incense stick holder and so forth. And look at this. The pair only went for $4,375. And maybe there was a big restoration on it or something, but I thought $4,300 for the two was a very, very good buy. You can buy at Christie's. You know, those of you that don't think you can afford to buy there, well, I got a feeling that these would bring the same amount whether they were on eBay or at Christie's or at Sotheby's or Bonham's or anywhere else. All right, those are nice. And then there was this. This was a pair of jars I mentioned in another video prior to the auction. I thought they were wonderful. They were, how big were these? Were big, 24¼ inches tall, and beautifully done. So very similar to the blue and white one at the very beginning. I think these are prettier, much prettier, and it's a pair, and but elegantly painted, very, very well painted, beautiful quality all the way down on both pieces. Here's a nice cockerel and pheasants, and all these very interesting, sort of evocative landscape scenes, right up to the top. And here's the blue finial on it, and again, that finial looks like it might have come off of something else, but at any rate. Maybe wrong. Anyway, the pair went for $56,250. So you figure about $28,000 a piece. I don't think that was a crazy number. I thought the estimate when I mentioned these before, I thought 20 to 30,000 seemed awfully low because these are really, really pretty jars, and apparently a number of people thought so too. They did just fine in the end, but just very attractive. And then there was this plate. This was another very nice, very large Yongzheng. I think this one's 21-inch charger, beautifully done. And it didn't take off. I was kind of surprised. Look at the decoration on this. The way the faces are done, so delicately done, very classical for Yongzheng period. Beautiful details in the ladies' robes. And here's a gift box on the end of a carrier. And the fellow at the bottom pushing the cart along, and sort of the ladies smiling at each other. But nicely done. The way the willow trees are painted, very elegant, with the sun or the moon in the background, and these colorful clouds interspersed coming in, and then this beautiful rim, just an elegant rim. Look at the way this flower was done, just beautifully done all the way around. And look at the price. It brought $20,000. And I realize that's a significant amount of money for a dish, but this is a 21-inch dish, Yongzheng period, and superb quality, and very much in the Chinese taste. I wouldn't be surprised to hear that went back to China at all. And then here's another one. Again, this is a Kangxi plate, a famille dish with a spectacular cobalt rim on it. Notice the gilding on the rim all the way around is still in very nice condition for the most part. It's a little wear here and there, but a very attractive central scene. Look at this fellow over here on the right, laughing and smiling. And there's a pair of young lovers here, and just a really lovely plate. And it brought $8,000, and this was a 16-inch charger. That's quite a buy, I think. I was really surprised by that. I thought that would do better. I thought it was a striking dish. All right, and it's 16 inches in diameter. It wasn't 20 inches, but you know. And I put this in at the end just to show that here's a lot they put together of two pieces of Kangxi blue and white, a covered jar, and this sort of Middle Eastern shaped vase with the brown dressing turning on the neck and at the top of the mouth. But these were very nice pieces of Kangxi, beautifully painted, nicely drawn, good size. I forget what these are, about 7 or 8 inches each, something like that. Here's the jar. I mean, here's the vase. Look at this, nice looking vase all the way up. The rim was in good shape, very good quality decoration. And both of them combined, they went for $6,250. And they were 60, yeah, here they are, 7 and 8 inches tall. This was 8 inches tall, and this was 7 inches tall, respectively. And for $6,250. Not a crazy price at all. Perfectly reasonable. And they also had a lot of things that didn't sell in this sale, I might point out. They had a number of lots that surprisingly didn't get off the ground. And most of it seemed the pieces that had sort of tough estimates, people are shying away from them. People more and more, I think, are looking to get a deal these days. So if you're going to be selling stuff at auction, you better get ready for putting up some pretty soft estimates, because they seem to be the ones that attract the most interest. And here you have a classic case. This lot of these beautiful set of tea cultivation dishes. These are very rare. This was a nice set. I think there were 15 of them or something in here, and they were estimated at 40 to 60,000, and they ended up bringing 150,000. But these were beautiful quality. Look at these. Look at these. Look at the rims, the way they're done with this sort of shell pattern and meticulously painted. This kind of work became popular during the Qing dynasty, depicting different types of industries, really. Rice, porcelain making, tea growing, and tea was so popular in the West. These sets were manufactured based on drawings and shipped westward in the 18th century. And they were very heavily collected. And they went for $150,000 for the lot. And I'm trying to think, the biggest plate in here was 15 inches in diameter, and they look like they maybe ranged down to about 8 or 9 inches in diameter. But quite a collection, all right? So overall, it was a pretty good auction, but I think there was some real soft spots in there. And the lesson, I think, from this is that estimates have to be reasonable. And you may not get your money. There may be some bargains, as we saw. But the big estimate items on here, a number of them didn't get off the ground at all. So we'll see how it goes next time. There's a couple of sales coming up in the near future. And I hope you enjoyed this. And see you later on this week with the regular video. And if you haven't subscribed yet here, please do. And if you don't get the bitamount.com newsletter, come over to our site and sign up for it. It's free. All right? And have a great week, and see you all later. Bye-bye.